Hello, fellow grapplers. This is Matt with the Grappling Podcast, and in today's episode, Levi and I recap TGI4. So you may be curious on what TGI4 is. TGI4 actually stands for Theory Grappling Invitational. It's a competition that Levi has been hosting for the last few years. It's super fun. It's a showcase event, free to compete in, and he gives out prize money on submissions. So it's a very exciting time to sit down and watch some grappling happen, and it's super cheap to watch too. I think he charges like $5 for it. Anyways, this last weekend we had TGI4. So we discussed in a broad sense how the tournament went, takeaways that will inform our grappling journeys, and some really cool ideas that Levi is playing around with for next time for the showcase event. Not to give any spoilers, but it's some different ways to structure how matches could go that might be really exciting, or even just really unique. So definitely listen in if you're interested. Also, if you're interested in Levi hosting 2 grappling invitationals this year, let him know. Either hit him up on social media or email us at info@thegrapplingpodcast.com and let him know. If there's enough people who do want to do something like that, there's a really good chance that Levi would throw a second competition this year. So without further delay, here is our recap of TGI4. Enjoy.
Episode that we just like sit and we go, let's see what topic that
just watch. If we have an episode
happens.
where we had to actually sit there and have and we actually had no plan,
tried it
we wouldn't
before.
say anything. It'd be kind of funny. We both just sit here and we're like twiddling our thumbs.
So, anyways.
Have you seen that Bruce Lee movie?
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone, Levi and I are just
4 years
joking
ago.
because we ended up pretty much saying an entire podcast and we weren't even recording.
They were like, this should have been a podcast.
Yeah, because we were just chatting. Yeah, well,
a whole grappling
more to
podcast.
come, folks.
That was our motivation for this whole podcast too, and this whole thing was like us having conversations about this kind of stuff, and we're going, we should have a podcast. So we just went full circle and
record
did it again.
everything we say.
So funny.
Okay, everyone. So today's episode, we're going to be recapping the TGI4.
Did you say TGI?
The TGI, baby.
Thank God it's...
Thank goodness it's Friday.
Thank goodness it's...
No, the Theory Grappling Invitational. No, this was technically number 4, right? But there was actually, this is the third one, but it was number 4.
I had the second one.
We had the quintet set up.
Yeah, the quintet, and there wasn't really any sign-ups, and I think...
I signed up for it, Levi.
There was not
Hunter,
any valid
myself,
sign-ups.
and Corey all signed up to be on a quintet team.
There wasn't many sign-ups. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I didn't use Smooth Comp, and the reach just didn't seem. And again, I was trying to do some new formats with it. It wasn't singles. It just didn't seem like too many people were up for it. So then
I should have an exhibition match at the next Theory of that one quintet thing.
So Jill had a good thought process for the 5th one, I guess.
TGI5?
Yeah, TGI5.
What if you start doing it on a Friday too?
That would be funny. And then we all have baby back ribs.
And we'll have flair.
Flair.
We have to have flair on ourselves.
Was
19
doing
pieces
brackets of 4 instead of just 2 people.
Interesting.
Like 170 blue belt of 4 people.
Okay.
And then it's like 2 and 2 and then
And
2.
the final, so it's 3 matches per bracket.
Yeah. The thing I liked about the Invitational, though, was that like you have a 50-50 chance coming away a winner. The more you bracket things out, people sign up and then they lose, and you kind of, now you have a 25% chance of winning. And then I'm not sure if the second place person gets a silver medal, gets a gold medal or whatever.
You could always
And then she's like, kids, you gotta get way more kids in here. I'm like, I know. And then she said, split it then.
Oh,
down the middle.
Interesting. Do you think that dilutes your goal of having it be like a showcase?
Well, this is what I told her too. I said showcase is meant to be like everybody's watching you. It's kind of thing. It's more of a specialized focus.
The Fight Pass Invitationals, right? They have one match in the middle.
Yep.
Everybody can see. You always could do a bracketed one if you had enough people, and do one-on-one matches. Just like I like the way that the Fight Pass Invitational 4 had. It had one that had rounds. It had a tournament in it. It had singles matches. It was kind of a little bit of everything.
Do you think I should do a Pride thing where, like, do you ever know the Pride?
Where you take steroids?
No. That too. The New Year's specials they would do like insane matches. Kind of like the whole Gabby Garcia and Craig Jones thing.
Oh, okay.
Like they would just do like...
Or like Eddie Hall fighting 2 guys at once.
But they would do like a kind of like a crazy matchup type thing.
Oh, okay.
So I say that because what if we did exhibition and you could just label it as something. Like these two
I got an
people
idea, too.
have a grudge match or something. Like they want to clear this out, or like have a really big person and a really small person or something like that. And you could like, and and if the smaller person wins, they get something, but if the bigger person wins, they don't get anything or whatever. Like I don't know.
Do you remember in the
Versus CJI or whatever.
the World Martial Arts Tournament in Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah.
Right before the Majin
Should
Buu
we
saga?
have a punching machine to qualify people?
You could have a punching machine.
The gripping machine.
Yeah, the dynamometer. That was just to qualify. But remember, after you qualified, you picked a ball, and that's where you fell in the bracket. And it was a totally open bracket. It was an absolute bracket.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting if you did that here.
I had thought about doing something similar, not with the numbers, but you'd have to, each person picks out of a hat, and it's a submission. And then basically, if like, let's say you and I go and I pull
Oh, yeah, we talked about
a
this.
Kimura, and I'm able to get that Kimura, and we both know what we're going to do, and I still get you in a Kimura, like randomly, I'll tell you some random submission that you should do, and you're able to do it. Like,
Or
get some
like
more money or
we
whatever.
talked about the John Wick one, where you both sit down at the table,
Nice.
and then, you just essentially, you flip and the person picks the sub, and you're like, okay. And then you flip and the other person picks the position.
How about this? This sounds way better.
Okay.
Not picks a submission, removes a submission.
Ooh, that could be fun.
Because if someone's good at leg locks,
Yeah.
I was just like, no leg locks.
Oh.
And now it's like, that's their thing.
You'd have to have the categories pre-built so people could define this is what everything falls. Leg locks is these, or versus
Here's
if
your
they just had no
choices.
heel hooks,
Yeah.
right?
But I like the cards because the cards flipped and they're all like random different quantities of numbers. So it's like you flipped in 25 and they have an 11. But how fun would that be? Like leg locks, flip. I was like, shit. That's like next person go like, but that'd be fun, wouldn't it?
That would be fun.
Remove it. Like now you can't do this.
I think that'd be a great
Starting
idea.
position,
Yeah, starting position.
right?
Yep.
You could do start because now you now remove like how are we going to start it?
Length of match up to a certain amount.
Yeah,
Because what if you pulled back, but the other person already removed the leg locks, so you're on their back, and you go, well, let's see, 30 seconds. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or 10 minutes, or I
So
don't
there
know.
needs to be a third category.
I don't know. A time might be a funky one. I like starting position could get weird though, because then if you lose the coin flip, you're really far behind, like right out of the gate. Because you'd have to flip who starts in that position.
Maybe it's starting like the opening phase. Well,
who
say,
gets
like-
the back? If you like, for instance,
maybe it's not the back. Maybe it's like standing seated. Like how is
I think
how
you
the
just stand up
pieces?
or sit though. There's no points, so
but
they
maybe
could
there's
just-
some. Maybe
We'll figure this out. You
Wait,
got a
okay,
year.
I
You
got
got a year.
I got some.
Let's.
I had someone come back to the studio because they forgot their shoes here, and they were like, "Are you doing another one this year?" And I'm like, "Maybe."
Ooh,
We'll
that'd
see.
be cool.
But I like that idea. Imagine calling it like that. So I like the removing submissions, maybe like a starting spot type of thing, within reason.
Anyone listening, if you have any cool ideas like this, let us know.
The hard part is that I think some people, especially competitors, want to get accolades through normalized methods, normalized matches. Like,
No, that makes sense. If they're preparing for another
but I'm saying if they're like a
competition or-
brown or black belt and they're like, hey, I want to work up to who's number one or whatever, they might not be interested in doing like some weird freak kind of match.
I think
or
this
unique
is
match.
you have to make an exhibition match tucked within the Theory Grappling Invitational. Like you have your normal matches, normal thing, so people can sign up for that. But then you also have a quintet match, and you also have a, John Wick duel style match. That could be fun. And if it really catches on, then do more of it. If it doesn't,
no gi.
oh God, I'd be screwed. I'd be
But
so
both people
screwed.
pick no gi. It's like whatever. So then we can both be like, would that be funny?
That would be
And then you have to put an outfit on. I think that'd be fun.
Sambo, wrestling shoes.
Or maybe we have
One wrestling
Maybe we have a
shoe.
third category that has like a whole bunch of randomized rules.
Oh, whether it's points or no points or something.
But I'm saying like not like banned, like one South submission is out, but like it could just be like a mixed bag of like a D, like I should just throw that in because I'm such a D&D nerd, but like they basically roll a D20.
Yeah, like the Wilson brothers did.
Yeah, but to say like this is either something removed or like so like in D&D there's a chart as a D100 list and it's called Wild Magic, and basically like sorcerers have it where if you roll a D100 you have 100 different random magical effects that could happen. So it's like, you roll D100, you get 78. It's like, your spell now becomes
crazy
on
there's a
fire or
D100.
something like that. Yeah. No, it's not one thing is D100. You roll a D10 and then a percentile die where it's just like it's 10, but it's like 0, 0, 1, 10, 1, 0, 2, 0, and then you roll a mini one.
Let's not bore anyone to death on our.
That's not boring.
I like it. I like it.
But basically, like have a chart where there's randomized effects, and then you can choose one of the randomized effects.
Okay.
You can be like, I don't know. This is like coming off the top of my head. I don't know what it would be. Can't hold side control for more than 3 seconds or something like that.
Oh.
Something weird like you have to. You have to pick some weird random little rule. That'd
be a fun exhibition
weird
match.
house thing,
I would potentially do that. That sounds more fun to me than a normal match.
So if you pick 3 things, it could be like maybe a very standard choice, a somewhat standard choice, and then like a crazy thing where it's like, ooh, what's the crazy thing going to be? Like, say it, and everyone's going, ooh, let's see what number he gets. I said, oh no. I don't know. It's like Uno. When we play Uno, there's like the wild cards that you can actually like write on the wild card, like what happens.
Yeah.
I think something like that would be fun.
Or apples to apples wild card.
I still want not a quintet, whatever it was, the 3v3, the Marvel Capcom one.
That would have been cool.
Let's throw that one in there.
That one, okay, I talked to people at the tournament, and people wanted it.
I'll do you're just, okay.
What?
So you're just doing all my good work here, just promoting.
I'm a chatty guy.
So we'll do like team theory. So we'll get a theory team, right? So we'll have to do a theory team, and then
Team Golden Toad, baby.
I like that on the group chat. You got to like look, squint. I'm like, that's a golden toad you have on there.
Okay, we actually do need to dive into the topic.
We were talking about our grappling invitationals, just future ones possibly.
Yeah, I think that's some really good stuff. So, folks, more to hear on that.
I might actually throw another one now that I'm talking about it. I hate that.
I think it's a fun tournament.
Work.
You could always reduce the purse size too. Everyone, for those who didn't attend the Theory Grappling Invitational, Levi actually pays a small purse, but that small purse adds up dramatically over the course of 10 or 20 matches.
Give little small purses.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool. Or you could always do the sumo wrestling thing. We have the basket with the envelope, and then you hand them the basket.
Is gold coins a thing still?
You can get the Sacagawea dollars. Hand him a sack of cold coins.
Yeah, right?
And it hits the table.
Just get like
50 gold coins at the table.
Back to D&D. But like on Etsy, you can get like little satchels, like kind of homemade satchels. Like imagine you give like a
you
like
can just make them. They're super easy to sew.
Right there. Little sack of gold coins.
I had a little sack, and I used to put my coins in it when I was younger. Because I was such a dork.
Be like, you have a bounty out, and nice job killing them.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
I like the gold
If there's some way that you could do some type of betting thing with it.
I think people like random prizes like that. Like Naga got really big because they gave out katanas.
That's cool.
Or the one down south had a Viking axe or whatever.
Powerlifting competitions did that too.
But the funny thing is, if you look at the sheer value of what that costed them, like it sounds cooler. Like I saw with like wedding rings, like buy a wedding ring and save $200, or buy a wedding ring and get a shotgun. And it's like,
I've seen that thing.
Shotgun. Yeah. It's like, dude, it's the same.
Yeah, that place was giving away a Benelli shotgun.
I'll give you $200, like to do whatever you want with it, or you can
use the shotgun and then return the ring.
This sounds like a crazy story. I won
that one blew right past you.
I got that. That's so good too. It took me a second. I won a gift card for $500.
You did?
For Cabela's.
That's cool. When?
I don't know, like 7 years ago.
Dude, that's awesome.
That was through Ronda Rousey's competition.
Oh, really?
She had online. That's a long story. But I'm
that's how you got that signed poster?
Yeah, I had like 12 things of Ronda Rousey's signed.
Really? Dang, I didn't know that.
She had a competition called Free Rice. And Free Rice, it was like donating rice to the children's world. And the idea was that whoever had the most rice donated in the categories would win prizes.
Oh, that's cool. You donated a lot of rice?
Yeah, well, it's a long story. I found ways to help starving children, let's put it that way, and I was donating a lot of rice.
That's cool.
There. But, so basically, other people were found to be cheating very bad, and they got disqualified. And then I woke up one morning, and I was the first place winner of her competition.
That's cool.
And then
did she call you?
No, I got the email or whatever. But got a $500 gift card. My favorite one of hers is I have a Roots of Fight shirt. That is the Mike Tyson shirt signed by Ronda Rousey.
Oh, that's cool.
Like kind of two goats.
Do you still have it? Did you put it in a frame or something?
I wore it twice when I was out of laundry.
You should put it in a frame.
No, I thought about putting it in a frame, but I had
That's really neat.
I was cleaning stuff out, and she sent posters signed and whatever too, and that's what the other day I'm like, does anyone want a Ronda Rousey poster? Like it's just sitting here. I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, so I found out a gift card. I didn't know what to do with it, so I went on a website that people bought gift cards, and
Yeah.
I sold it for $300.
Yeah.
So it was like $300 cash, or I guess I don't know why I didn't think of bells.
I remember
Because I was
those
thinking
cards.
like hunting or whatever. And
Yeah, they got sporting good stuff.
yeah, and I
definitely
think
use
in
that.
the back of my mind, I was like $300 cash for me to do whatever I want versus $500 towards a hunting store. So I just thought
There's
it's just
camping stuff too.
well, that's that too. But anyways, it was just
Boating.
like instead of having like an axe
Shoes.
or whatever, you could have cash to do whatever you want. But I think people just like the novelty of it. Like, oh, I have
Like
a
it depends.
katana. And it's like, all right, we'll give you guys a katana.
You know what's cool about the katana? As a grown man, it makes it a lot easier to like convince that it's okay to have a katana in your house. I'm actually going to buy a nice sword
I
one
feel
of
like
these
you
days.
go to the park near your house to just
Maybe cut some watermelons up.
I was thinking,
Snowmen.
You know, I think
used to do
a
that.
life goal of mine would be to do that. The carpet thing rolled up.
Cut the tatami mats.
No, it's not these. No,
No,
is that what they
old-
called?
I think so.
That you
and
it's
you gotta
like
slice
bamboo
them?
thing, and you had to go
Let's
right
do
down.
it, dude. I'm down. You're the one who was making fun of me for wanting to do German fencing. You know,
I wasn't making fun of you. When I was
you were
when
like,
doing
"That's
that.
lame," and I'm like, "That's so
German
cool."
fencing.
Yeah, it was the longsword fencing,
It's
the
lame.
HEMA or whatever. Yeah.
I saw someone's business I was doing very well. That's not around here, but it was archery tag.
Oh, I've the Real Shot used to do that for birthday parties.
I know, and that's why I think that was the only thought I had. Like they were doing it, but they might have been as cool. I wanted to do a Lord of the Rings style LARPing type arena where you do that, but it'd be like a space where someone could have like foam swords and someone could have
Yeah.
arrows and whatever, and you like be like these big battle things, like some sort of bachelor party.
Did
or
you
whatever.
ever? Oh, man, we're getting really off topic here. But okay, we're gonna save that for a random episode.
Okay.
I have something really good on that topic. So I'm bringing it back around. A hard pivot.
Anyways, unique prizes. So,
Yeah.
but anyways, we just did $50 cash here, and that's where we're going off with that. You're saying Levi gave out small purses.
Yeah, but okay. So let's talk about some of the recap because there was 10 great matches. I thought they were really fun, and
There's 10.
there was 10 total.
No, we did not, Matthew. You missed.
Oh, we had 10.
We had 11.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty positive.
Okay, 11 matches.
Well, we technically had 12 because I
No
competed.
way. I thought we had 10. Okay, we probably had 12.
We had 12 because I
12, okay.
wrote up 12. It was 12.
Okay. Sorry, everyone.
1, 2, 3,
12
1, 2, 3.
matches, which is funny. I was here even.
Gosh,
That's
darn
right.
it.
Close enough.
10, 11.
We had
sorry,
between 10 and
15,
12
30,
matches here at the
45,
grappling.
11.
Levi's counting on his fingers. 13. 12? 13, 12. Okay. We had between 10 and 13 matches, everyone.
Yeah.
Long story short, they were great. There was a lot of subs. Almost every single match ended in a sub. Really good energy. Levi's going,
All my
'cause
small
that's-
purses
Yeah, that's when
going
he had to pay
away.
out the purse every sub. But good energy. Everyone was cool and respectful. There were some great leg lock exchanges and subs. And it actually really reminded me of something Rob said when we were talking to him about mistakes.
Oh, that's a good call.
Yeah,
Good
so
reference.
Rob was talking about how a lot of the time, especially at the higher level you get, but this is true, I think, throughout the whole deal, it's really the person who can make the least amount of mistakes tends to be the winner. And as I was watching some of these matches, because Levi was the ref and the host, and then Eileen and I were the judges.
You were Judge
judging.
Matt, and then she was the Matt judge.
Yeah, yep. We were judging. We were judging hard. And but no, we were giving like the judge's favor, and then when it went to judge's decision, we would obviously be the ones to vote on that.
It only went once.
Yeah. They made our job easy in that regard.
Yes.
Sometimes those 5-minute ones are hard though. The match is like up in the air and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Ugh." There was a couple times I wanted to just wave the paddle back and forth at you to be like, I got no favor, man. Like this is crazy.
Well, the idea is that like it gives them an idea of to say, and for those who don't know, some events like Who's Number One do like 5-minute increments to say judge's favor, and it gives them an idea of like who's ahead. So if you're behind, you go, oh crap, I actually thought I was doing well. I need to pick this up. Or someone who's doing well, go, great, that's fantastic. Let's just keep on the same pace and keep moving. So
A little bit of feedback.
It stirs people a little bit, because coaches can only do so much. They don't obviously can encourage, but if they say, hey, the judges right now are leaning towards this other person,
Yeah.
you got 5 minutes to make some magic happen.
So the that whole mistake thing, though, I was just watching that. So everyone listening, when you're watching matches, look for mistakes. It's really interesting because at the lower belt levels, you can make some mistakes and you can recover them.
Did you see mistakes?
I did see some mistakes.
Can you name a mistake without naming people?
Yeah, totally.
Obviously, we're not probably naming people.
Yeah, so there's a couple different things.
I'll call out one person. The guy who heel hooked me.
But yeah, you made a mistake there. But
I was choked out by liquid death.
But the band died drinking liquid death water. But okay, some of the mistakes that I saw. Some of it was like around standing exchanges where people were just kind of putting themselves in compromised stances.
That's kind of what I was going to lean into as well.
Kind of like a lot of engagement phase stuff.
The wrestling engagement just seemed hard. And we're a little spoiled with Jordan.
Yeah.
But it's just maybe not purposeful enough.
Yeah, or even just some of the recovery mechanics too were a little more like extended and things like that.
Sure.
And you saw some people, and some of it worked for those people too, but they were still mistakes, right? And like, by the way, preface this with, I make a ton of mistakes when I do
as far as just observing
like,
other people.
this is just me seeing something that Rob told us, right? Yeah. And I'm trying to apply the things that he was teaching us. And just some of the things too, where if someone allowed their legs to get split at all, it was like the person's getting underneath them. It's probably going to happen. That was another one that I saw that was pretty common. And yeah, just some of the things like that, where thinking you're okay if you give up any ground and then you're going to work from that bad connection, it seems to not weather well. It's like a leak in the dam. You have a little spot you can plug your finger. If it gets big, you're screwed.
There's lots of illusions. Like I have a person that I know that was very okay with having a poor guard because they felt they had excellent side escapes, which to evidence of what I've saw with them training did not seem like they were the most impervious person to hold down. And then when they competed, someone passed their guard and they just got literally smashed.
Was it in the gi?
It was in the gi.
Oh God, getting out of things in the gi is even harder.
But I'm saying like they were but this person trained in the gi as well too, but it still had the same statement. But it was
slipperiness.
The hard part was it was the same division too.
Okay.
Same weight division.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying this isn't like, it was a giant holding me down. It was like, this is someone who's technically your same skill level and same weight, and that you can't get out of that. That's not the wordings of like hard to hold down.
You know what's funny in grappling? We just accept the bad position sometimes. If we were boxing and you were getting punched, if your strategy was, I'm going to let him punch me in the face till he gets real close and then I'm going to punch him, you'd be you've got brain damage from that strategy.
But this becomes like weird and odd tertiary things of skill sets to worry about. Like, it sounds so stupid because it seems like inverse of what every damn jiu-jitsu school teaches you from the beginning. Like, you should be learning first? Good defensive skills. Do you know why I think that? It's because they don't want their students to fucking lose at competitions.
Explain that thought a little more.
Sure. I'm saying that if you're teaching people to say, let's start from the absolute worst case scenarios of trying to survive and barely get out, it's just a little bit to Matt's point saying, did you not say like, I didn't see many people recovering from some bad mistakes?
It was, I was thinking of the standing side of things.
Yeah.
So there were some recoveries though from like side control and whatnot.
But I just think that when a lot of great grapplers, like let's say beyond, okay, as a white belt and blue belt, I think you can get away with learning defensive things, which is fine. But I think as a competitor, especially purples and browns, and you're trying to win for yourself or win for your team, it makes sense to say you should be learning some defensive skills because in a match, if stuff goes sideways for you, you need to be able to recover and get back on path. But let's say Matt does a match and, he's testing himself a little bit and, he felt a little bit the one match of like guard passing. The guy kept going back. He didn't get submitted. But let's say someone took you down and got you in mount or whatever. The thing is, when you come back into the training room, what's the thing you're focusing on? What comes that energy?
Well, mine would be that I got taken down.
Right. So, but this is what I'm saying. It's the opening engagement.
Yeah.
You don't go, I took Matt down, I passed his legs, I got mount, I took his back, I control his back, and I rear naked choked him. He doesn't come back into the mats going, I'm going to work on rear naked choke escapes.
There's a lot of parallels with this and a lot of other topics. Well, an old boss of mine, he's a carpenter for a long time, and he still had crews of carpenters. And his rule, he had a rule called no sawzalls.
No saws all.
Yeah, it's like a big reciprocating saw that's you can move around in the field to like cut.
Is that one name? Sawzall?
A sawzall. It's like
Sawzall?
yeah, it's like
Okay.
it's like I can show you one at my house
Okay.
sometime.
Sound like 2 words, but okay.
But his like idea, the theory behind it was we should like make it so it's the right size, so we don't have to risk doing another cut, right?
So
and
measure
versus
twice,
just kind of slapping some stuff together and being able to cut things a little bit after and whatnot. And even though like things will happen where you have to shave things and stuff, but that was just kind of like his mentality with like everything. Like, hey, let's just why do we have to fix the mistake if the mistake doesn't happen in the first place? Same thing happens with like if you have like a really messy room. If you can get rid of half of your stuff, like you realize you don't need it, you have less stuff to organize and less stuff to make a mess. So to bring it back to jiu-jitsu, I think the same concept applies. Instead of learning how to be better at escaping mount in your scenario, it's to not get taken down.
I saw that.
It's to be the taker downer,
Jordan and I had a good discussion about that. I was saying like of the opening engagement with wrestling. It's like if your wrestling improves, you get to start the pace of the guard, the guard engagement phase of like passing guards and whatever. It's like, it's just, you should not just be saying like wherever you want to start in a jiu-jitsu match, that should be your house and your table. So whether you start seated or supine or standing, that's your house, which means you start from there and you do what you want to do from there. If that doesn't work out and you have to fall back to plan B or plan C, I guess it's my example of like the castle stuff. Like if someone infiltrates the castle, where do you put your resources?
Well, once they've infiltrated it, you'll have to probably move it to the inside of the castle.
But here's the thing, Matt. If it's war, if it's like something that's a huge cost, you'll want to improve everything. Like you want to improve, the fortress room or blah, blah, blah.
You don't have infinite resources, though.
But that's what I'm saying. You don't have so many resources. So it's like if
you
only own so much time.
Out.
If you made a thing like that, let's say you have 10,000 gold and you're there to give the defenses or offensive of your castle, like where would you allocate that towards?
Oh, I'd probably put like 80% onto my exterior stuff. Classic Helm's Deep. Give me some elven archers
That's
up on the
only one I was thinking
on
of.
But
all that
rampart
is,
or whatever it's called.
All what you're thinking of is just the opening phase of a match. But the thing is, if someone cracks past that somehow, some way, do you not just go, oh, I should worry about the inside now? Or do you go, why were they allowed to get inside the first place?
Yeah, your recovery. It's because we teach escapes versus guard recovery, guard retention, kind of things like.
But I'm saying even pin escapes or submission escapes, I think sometimes it's good to learn it as the flip side of offense, so you know how people are trying to break your thing, but maybe not something where it's like, as far as a match is concerned, like if you're going to compete, I think it's better to be like, there's so many things that like Rob was saying, so many things went wrong, so many poor decisions happened to land you in that spot.
Yeah.
Well, do you work off the 8th mistake, or do you work off the first mistake that led through all these things?
Yeah, it's the downstream ramifications.
Right. So it's like
a snowball.
It just seems weird to be like, oh, I got caught with the triangle. Like we saw some a lot of submissions here.
Yeah, actually, triangles have been very popular at the TGIs.
Yeah. I like that you keep calling it. It's very popular. They work out very well. But I would not be looking at that stuff because I think submissions are a very visual thing for people to know what went wrong.
And that's where you end.
Do you know what's very easy to see? Heart attacks.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. I like that.
You don't get to see all the burgers and all the stuff prior to that. It just was it the straw that broke the camel's back kind of thing. Like you see all this. You don't see that stuff before, so it's easy to measure those solid positions like a pin or a submission. Like it's easier in the mind to watch it. Like, ooh, you got triangle choked. Well, for example, I saw one match that someone went to a front headlock and defended the front headlock and got into a triangle choke. Basically, it was cascading through submission chains, and at that point, it was like they were trying to escape, and the other person was savvy enough to connect to another submission. Sorry, that's going to happen. Like you have this great escape, and now they're going to chain to another one. There went your escape. Here's
an idea I want your thoughts on. Boy, we're gonna go. We gotta.
We're talking about just the match itself.
Yeah. So, with this analogy, I almost wonder. You probably don't need many escapes. Like, think of how many escapes you've been taught and that you have taught from like side control. So you probably need like 3.
My thought is you need like
3.
1 or 2.
Yeah.
Pin escapes, I feel like there's a lot more of like a destabilization.
Yeah.
You need to like be able to get people off
Yeah,
balance.
you need a Kazushi and then 2 solid out
you need
exits.
you need to be able to deal with people who are tight, people who are wide, like you're threatening base and being swept at the same point. Any sort of pin. But like submissions, no. You need 1 or 2 main ones that will get you out early, middle, and late. So it's like those are the 3. Those are the ones you rep. You know,
And even,
but it's like,
here's the weird one. Is late stage even worth it? Because think about this. Once again, that's the straw that broke.
If you're saying choosing,
because like, think about what
Matthew,
if
you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about anything else.
I'm saying don't even worry about late stage.
You don't have to worry about any of it.
If you just focus on early stage, you know, like,
anything. Like to say, like I'm not worrying about guard passing because no one's going to take me down.
yeah,
Like, do you think Jordan worries about guard passing? No. Jordan told me the other day,
or getting his
when
guard
he's
passed,
grappling in general, he's like, people don't realize I use 1% of what I could be doing out here. Like, he's like, I want to throw, like, I think he said he was talking with you.
Yeah.
I was saying his old matches. He's like,
yeah, it was cool.
this is the level I want to
was
show.
watching some last
I want to
night.
show people what 2 high-level wrestlers, like what that exchange looks like.
Oh yeah, their pacing
But
is
what
ridiculous.
I'm saying in his realm here with wrestling, he's like, it takes me nothing. Like he's like, I'm begging for me to run into another high level wrestler to have a challenge in a wrestling exchange.
I hope he finds one. That'd be
right.
cool.
But what I'm saying is that he doesn't have to worry about guard passing right now because a high likelihood right now at his stage, no one's gonna be taking him down.
You're saying his defensive guard retention,
Unless he chooses to set the table for him to sit on the ground
such
and
a
play
great
leg locks.
backup to have. I'm so
Yeah.
jealous, Jordan, if you're listening to this, because if you
He could choose.
yeah, because he stands
full
there,
choice.
and if you stand with him, he's like, good, that's my best spot. If you sit, it's like, okay, I'm good at this, but if I force you to stand up, then
But I'm saying
you're back into
I'm
my
saying
best game.
every grappler, you should set the table to say, like, let's say he goes against a guard person, and the person chooses to sit. That's their house. To say, like, if let's say I play guard,
That's their only out.
But I'm saying if you pass my guard, I use a Lachlan Gauss quote where he's like, I don't think about tapping as bad as someone passing my guard. But the weird part is then the match still continues. You still pass my guard. You just go, all right, I'm done. That's it.
Yeah, no.
That's it. I
think,
tap out.
I think the trick there is get back to a spot where you can start working your recovery
But I'm
and then
saying
your
so
attack,
you
right?
need skills.
Yeah, you just need a few.
But you don't want to lose a match. This is what I'm saying. Like if you truly wanted to say I want to be a best overall grappler doing for skill development, you should just let them do the rest of whatever they did because something just completely messed up the whole thing. You're like, whatever.
Being able to recover and win a match though is still cool.
But this is what I'm saying about primary, secondary, and tertiary. Like Jordan's a good example. Like him right now, he's working more guard, passing, and defending leg locks is his thing because that's what he's going to run up against. That's that second stage. He's like, no one's going to take me down, but when I take someone down, now it's the guard or someone's going to choose to sit and engage with leg locks. Those are the things I have to worry about.
Yeah,
right now
because that'd be the one path that somebody could get to.
But I'm saying like that's what he's focusing on. But I think at that point, if someone has him deep in a leg lock, or I don't even know what else. But like, I'm just saying like Jordan doesn't have to worry about pin escapes.
Yeah.
I mean, unless he's doing his absolute division, he doesn't have to worry about like saying I need to be the best. Like he still keeps it up for sure. But it's like it's not like the skill set right now that if he sets the table every single time, no one's pinning him down.
Yeah, no, you're not pinning Jordan. It's a waste of time.
But I'm saying the energy wise,
Sucks being on half guard with that
so
guy.
we saw that a little bit this weekend. We saw some good specialties, and I kind of bring it
really
around
cool.
towards that.
Yeah,
so
yeah. Let's talk more about the tournament.
But we saw some people that had a big focus on it.
Yeah, we saw some leg locking.
Yes,
that was actually the first time I've seen a Mikey lock. I couldn't even quite see it from my angle, but it was a Mikey lock.
So the Mikey lock was having the foot up by the head.
Yeah,
I believe that's what it was.
And so I thought that was interesting. Like we keep seeing lots of triangles. Triangles are a pretty common movement as well at the TGI. I've noticed that's actually I think been the most prominent submissions.
What other crazy submission did we see?
We did see a buggy.
There's a buggy choke.
Yeah, the buggy
that guy was
interesting.
super psyched.
Yeah, that guy was the most. If you added everybody's excitement about winning, it was like half of what that guy's excitement was.
He had some pretty long limbs too.
Yeah.
So it worked for him to get there.
He was very excited.
I'm looking at the
which was
person's
cool.
face that was all squished. I'm like, oh, dude, that looks like it sucks.
Yeah, he was a big dude.
Yeah.
Buggy choking you. It was cool though. He got the tap. Let's see.
Submission event was a really clean rear naked
Yes.
choke belly down against one of our own, Adam
Yeah,
Schneider.
that was hard to do. As far as being a judge,
But this is where I'm saying this
I
one.
couldn't be. I had to be impartial about it.
This allows me for judges here because we're not sitting here being partial to anything. It's
Yeah.
like, especially when Jordan won, it was like, okay, can anyone sit and argue that,
Oh, no one was arguing with
right.
that.
But that's
Even
what
the
I
guy,
want.
the guy who versed him was really cool. It seemed like
he's
too.
super nice guy
Super
too.
cool.
Yep.
So, I guess. So, how is this going to impact your training, Levi?
That would impact my training,
Actually, wait.
my sanity of doing these.
We should. We got to rewind a little bit. Levi had a match too.
Yeah, so I had
Last minute.
I had an inkling that this individual that was going to be at a brown belt division was not going to show up. He was just difficult for communication. I'm not giving names. I'm a little upset, but I'm not giving names. So this is where Levi can be nice. So the day was going on and he wasn't checking in, and I'm like, oh. So the nice thing was it was a brown belt negative 185, which is my division. And I'm like, okay. And then I'm telling the guy, I'm like, hey, I don't think your guy's showing up. And I'm like, I'll step in. We'll rumble. He's like, sure, I'm fine with that. And I joked around trying to get a double leg, and that didn't work. And he got a false reap entry, and I didn't recognize I was doing like a knee slice, and he had his foot in for like a butterfly hook. I didn't think of anything because I think my pace was going a little bit slower, and I felt like I could defend things as things happened. But then once I heard Sam or whoever go false reap, I went, shit. Like, it was already deep. It was already in there. Then he inverted, and I'm like, there's 411. I tried to push the knee line out, but he kept incredible hip connection the whole time. And he's 411. I went, I'm letting this deep. It's almost like having a tight rear naked choke where I'm like, I'm going to have to eat this and not make it look like, Like, I didn't want him to grab my heel and for me to go like, it's okay. I'm going to tap. Like, I wanted to make it legit. So I was really trying to
get out,
push into it enough to survive. And he had a really good strain on my ankle, and I just went tap. But I was fine.
I thought it was cool that you did a match last minute. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
And then, we had Joey, who runs Manitowoc Jiu-Jitsu, hopped in as the ref.
I'm like,
I thought that was just a cool moment, right?
How do you want to do this? I'm like, I don't know, just He's like, everything good? I'm like, everything's fine. We're not going to kill each other with it. Hopefully not.
I thought that was cool though. It's just like, what a good energy for an event where the ref jumps in to keep a match going, and it's also your school, so like people might. Some people might get all ego-y about it, but you didn't, which was cool. And then a guy who, like, not exactly he's like a competitor as far as like business-wise, because you guys are far enough away from each other. But like people could be all, grouchy about that. But instead,
weird.
No, everybody was super cool. And he he decided to be the ref. And I thought that was just a neat scenario.
Yeah, it was nice.
It's what we're shooting for here with jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I just wanted a nice match. And the hard part is, like, actually, it kind of was nice because I haven't competed in a little while. So it was kind of fun just to go out there and not care, and
just give it a whirl.
I think some people, honestly, like a lot of top-level coaches don't like competing because it's like that classic kung fu thing where it's like, you're the owner, you're the main coach, and I'm the main coach. Now we're squaring off, and the two gyms are watching, like, ooh, who's the better kung fu? Go,
like in
what
was it? Fearless.
Fearless, yes.
Yeah.
That's what I was Fearless and Ip Man a little bit too.
Your tiger style versus their crane style.
But basically, like, if you got beat, suddenly people go, ooh, well, I want to learn jiu-jitsu again from someone who really has good jiu-jitsu. If you beat this person, you must have really good jiu-jitsu.
I don't want your tiger style. I want your crane style over there.
I don't care. If anything, I wanted, to not be egotistical, this is my house, and it's my mats. I'm feeling my mats in my space. So it's like I'm at the most at home and comfortable that I can be.
Yeah.
But I also wanted to show people, because everyone talks about nerves all the time, I wasn't nervous at all. Jill was kind of like, pick up the pace, because she knows sometimes I'll go slow. I'm looking at her, I'm like, I got 10 minutes. I'm gonna set a pace. But I thought I'd have more defensive skills, like to be aware of stuff, and then I did not know his leg lock game was that good. I knew it was good, but I'm like, I thought I could survive it a little bit. It was good. It was fantastic, and I got caught, and I'm like,
you made it.
No ego
with the whole thing with mistakes, right?
You won't get caught again. But the funny part is,
you should train with him more.
I had this conversation. The same with like the beginning. But I also think I have a hard time because sometimes when I roll people right away, unless there's that intense energy, I tend to go light because I sometimes feel like this Hulk thing or Superman thing where I don't want to go hard right away with somebody.
Well, plus you don't want to like make bad blood or anything like that.
Yeah, but it's just weird. Like, I don't want this like, I'm trying to kill you type of thing. So I kind of play this little jazz thing where we're kind of dancing, warming up, and eventually it just increases the pace a little bit. So I didn't want to be like, I'm actually blasting and trying to kill him right now. And because I've never rolled him before. This is the first time me rolling him. So I didn't know, like, he was very lethal, but it's like I just didn't feel like destroying things and going, you're kind of wading into this jungle a little bit. You have to kind of feel things out and not make dumb mistakes right away.
I think that's also a just like a good thing from a like being a good training partner thing, right?
But it's weird when it's competition.
Yeah, because you don't get that then. In competition, I was having trouble with that too when I was preparing before I hurt my rib.
Yeah.
I was like, the idea of me just going out there and just going so hard right away, it felt weird. But I guess that's what you got to do.
But it's a weird feeling, and I think both people kind of agree to that to sign up. It's just I've struggled with that sometimes. I just don't like going at it at that point. But I recognize it. But especially going back, the thing is, I had zero game plan going into it. I was just like, let's just do it, and like I wanted to just see and explore and play. So I'm not even so upset about like, oh, I should have started with this or blah blah blah. It's like I can't even remember the beginning of the match really. It's like we played a little bit of stand up, and I think he pulled guard or whatever. But I didn't really care. It was last second. There's nothing else prepping for, so I just rolled. Like didn't really hold anything against it. But he did well. It wasn't I didn't give him anything. Like he took it from me, which was great. So I'm not saying I was lackadaisical by any means. Like it was good. I just if I had more of a purposefulness or some weeks or whatever, like I think I would be more upset because of a game plan that didn't go off for myself. Like I didn't start the match this way or whatever. But it was all good.
That's crazy. Is anybody here for class?
Well,
class starts in
I think Eileen
6 minutes.
was going to be a little bit late, and then Michael too, I thought, but then Jordan's supposed to be.
Oh, all right.
Too, so.
Well, hey, with that, we should probably sign off, and we might even need to do a part 2 for this or something. Actually, no, I got one quick thing, and then we can end.
Okay.
So I think next time we need to have a match of the day, and that would be maybe like they each get a trophy that like is like paired together somehow.
Maybe that kind of couples into that energy a little bit that we want.
Because we want to see an awesome match, and ultimately, it acknowledges the fact that they are your opponent, but they're also a jiu-jitsu practitioner, so we're all part of the same club.
Most respectful. First.
But no, it's true, though. We're all in the sport together. You can't do jiu-jitsu by yourself. And I think that is a cool thing because it acknowledges it and maybe it promotes people to be like, that. What if that's the most coveted thing, the most exciting match? Like, how cool that would be. And then you could even like say, like, oh, me and insert other person's name, we won most exciting match. Even though you're competing against each other, it's kind of cool in a way.
Yeah, like you both dance very well together.
Yeah, it was just exchange. And it also promotes you to get really good matchups, which you do already. But like, I thought that was just that'd be a really cool idea.
We'll do it.
All right, so there you go, folks. We jumped around a little bit, but there's some good information here.
Surprising.
Yeah. So folks, where can Levi find us? Where can Levi find us?
Where can Levi find you at?
All right, folks. So where can they? Where should they find us? No. Hold on. The third time's a charm. Levi, where can folks find us?
thegrapplingpodcast.com. Awesome. On social media, Facebook, Instagram.
The Grappling Podcast.
Matt and I had some good exchanges today of different ideas and interviews that we will have coming up. Coming soon. So be tuned for that. Tune in for that.
See, it's contagious.
Is Jordan? No.
All right. With that.
Oh, Chester. All right.
Solid.
Cool. We'll
see you guys later.
Bye.